ZP, here we go. Toronto Defiant versus Paris Eternal. And, I think if you're a Paris Eternal fan, and people have said this before, that you're happier 8-8 right now. I mean, I think Paris has shown a lot more life this season than people kind of expected them to. Coming into it, they're a better team than people expected them to be. No matter how this season ends up ending, I think it's a step in the right direction for this team with a lot of questions going into the season. That said, today, I think you gotta favor Toronto, right?
Yeah, I mean, Toronto definitely is a team that on paper you would expect to win this. I think, it's a very interesting contrast between the two teams because Paris is a team that a lot of people really didn't expect anything of, that had a surge late in the season, is now a lot more competitive at this point, whereas Toronto is a team that people expected a lot out of. And look, quite frankly, Toronto has been underperforming throughout the season, and now they're finding a little bit new life, especially looking good when they play Aspire. So, it's just a matter of what's going to win out. Will Toronto, sort of reclaim some of what they should be, or will Paris continue to defy expectations and find that energy that they had when they beat the Fuel earlier in the season? Who knows? But this knockout match, Noah, is going to be crucial.
Yeah, and the thing is I think this is going to be a pretty good series, actually, because we just had that other match just 2 days ago, right? 2-3 days ago. And Paris lost that one closely. They feel they deserve to get that win. They nearly brought it back and got the reverse sweep. So, forget the Countdown Cup, forget the overall standings. I think this is a group of players that just wants to win today to rectify what happened last time.
Yeah, definitely so. And the one thing I am curious about seeing here, and we saw a little bit before, but it's like anytime you go against the Eternal, you have to have a strong plan to shut down Naga, because the amount of times that Paris is just won maps off of Naga going on Pharah, and then just there not being a response, there being a Tracer Sombra response that oftentimes doesn't do anything. It's been too many to count. So anytime I see Naga in the roster, I go, okay, what's it going to be today? But, Toronto, the question for Toronto is, are they starting Aspire?
Yeah, and the answer to that is no. They're not right now. Nate's in for at the moment, but, who knows? We may see him a little bit later today. The desk talking a lot about Michelle and those grabs from the last series. It happens to everybody. I was actually a big fan of Michelle's Diva play, back in the day, like a couple of years ago. So I think he's always looked better on that hero. We'll see if they can fit it into some compositions today. But, you've got some big threats there, too, with Hisu. Obviously, this is a team that is favored here. But, I think we're not just fighting in terms of regular statistics from the season right now. This is a grudge match from the Paris side, right? So I think this is going to be a hard-fought one no matter what.
Yeah, I think either way, we're definitely in for a close match. I'd be surprised if this turned into a blowout within, 2 days' time, which is what we'd be looking at. We know these teams are pretty close in skill level, at least on paper. Obviously, maybe one team comes in super hot, but I think this will be a good one. I think 3-1 is probably what we're looking at, or a 3-2. I don't think it'll be a 3-0, despite our reputation.
ZP, we cast a lot of 3-0s this season. It is true, and I think people can tell we're trying to, will this to not be a 3-0, and I don't think it will be, just legit. Overall, I don't think it's going to be a 3-0. But we'll see. Toronto wants to make that because on their side, they want to rectify the situation that they nearly did get reverse sweep. That's a little bit embarrassing, ZP. So today the theme is get that 3-0 that you feel you deserved, or if you're Paris, get that win that you feel you deserved.
Yeah, there's a lot of feeling of deserving here is what I got.
I think so too. I mean, it's true. You got to think about player feelings in this situation too, right? I mean, you can look at all the numbers you want to until your brain explodes, right? Which doesn't take a lot of numbers for me, trust me. But at the end of the day, these are human beings with a competitive drive to win, and understanding the reasons why is part of what makes sports fun. And speaking of the fun today, since we are doing this kind of a tournament style, it is the loser picks as far as the map situation goes. That's why we're not quite sure what the maps are going to be after this one. Toronto Defiant is the home team in this series, and they have chosen Lijiang Tower as our first map of the day.
And also, both teams right now showing a mirror, which, again, shouldn't be too surprising.
Sure.
We'll see how it pans out in actuality, but right now, both teams hang out to a point. Tracer swap from Pony God. Hisu, meanwhile, though, well, both teams on the full mirror. So, see just how it pans out.
Yeah, I said I liked the Michelle Diva a little bit better. I mean, this is one of those points where you're going to be able to play with that composition. So, I think that's going to be a nice start for Toronto as well. And of course, you got to watch for the dueling Zens, both of them trying to find ways to pick each other. Oh, Nice is going to step in there and take Con down first.
Yeah, what if the Zens don't duel? What if the Zen calls in a Tracer for a little bit of help? A quick pick.
Then he's
for
a coward,
Toronto.
ZP.
Yeah, well, you know, the coward lives to fight another day, though. And Toronto, they get the first point, so seemingly works out.
True enough. All right, well, Toronto getting the percentage going here. And they'll be able to harass a little bit as Paris tries to figure out a way to get in. A little bit difficult. Well, any ultimates? You're poking here. Oh, Lastro finds a headshot on Onigod. Good start again for the Toronto defense.
Yeah, meanwhile, nice. Able to find Naga into the back. And the key difference right now, Toa, is mechanical play. The neutral game for Toronto's been so much stronger, where you have the Toronto Tracer taking down the Paris Zen. You have the Toronto Zen taking down the Paris Tracer. I mean, on all ends right now, Toronto's just, they're in a good mechanical game, and Paris is struggling to get anything going.
That's a good point.
Wow.
Oh, there's an EMP back at spawn. What is this? Toronto taking the defense to spawn. They're saying, you know what? We want to just demoralize Paris in this first round if we can, and just kind of put them out of a good mental headspace going into the rest of this one, it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think aggressive. I did not have EMP at spawn on my bingo card for this match. This is one of those things where, like, you know, Paris is just, you know, they go, wait, am I going to wake up soon? What is this nightmare I'm currently having? Because this has been a brutal round so far. Dice was going for the pulse bomb, doesn't connect. Maybe the start of some things going well for the Eternal. What has been a tough opening round.
All right, we'll see. Toronto.
Oh, the block from
that's one way to turn it around. That'll do it. Onigod with the 2K on the Tracer. That is exactly what Paris needed to get right back into this one. Even gets the DMEC onto Michelle. And they're going to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, and Paris finally getting back onto point. Mechanically, things breaking a little bit better for them. And, you know, going to the next fight, they have the EMP on deck. So, you know, this is something they should be able to bring up at least to 50%. But take a look at Onigod. This is all set up to Onigod looking, hits the side, and blows up too. That was really well placed.
Yeah, that was just great placement, catching both supports in the corner like that, where there wasn't really a lot of room to maneuver. And that's the kind of sneaky Tracer play you need to get back into this one. Now Naga being sneaky himself, although it's built into the kit. There's the EMP, hits 3 with it, manages to take out Lastro. It's always going to be your primary target as the Sombra. The good start for Paris on the defense.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, it's not a full team wipe EMP, but just getting Lastro out of the fight before Transcendence is a huge get within the circumstances. Paris still in control of the point, but still on. Backing out, mine's been used by Toronto, but okay. Here we Tracer Battle being won by Nice. And now Toronto, they get to move in 6 on 5. Pulse bomb ready to go. Nice looking for targets, looks for the Zen, gets the stick. Wasn't needed. The Matrix is right over, but Nice able to get on the con, and Nice just taking control of this fight. Aspire who?
Yeah, I mean, Nice just was, he got that pulse bomb in there just in the nick of time to get the stick onto the Zen, and Khan without the Transcendence that had just been used a little bit earlier, not able to save himself, and Toronto's going to take it back. So the EMP at spawn may have been a little bit too cocky on the Toronto side, as they had to work pretty hard to get that one back.
Yeah, but the upside is, as far as economy between both teams go, Isu has EMP for what could be the final fight. Paris has to maneuver around the EMP now, Doa, and find a way into the fight at the same time. Pulse ball comes out, force out Transcendence. That's a great start, but the EMP still lurks.
Yeah, and you got to go in and touch if you're Paris as well. They do that with Don. Now Hisu looking for that EMP, gonna use it, gonna catch 3, Khan down again. Lastro able to get that kill, and it's a good start for Toronto here. It seems like we're already in cleanup mode, ZP. I don't think there's a whole lot Paris can do.
Well, the bomb gets 2, but I don't think that's gonna be enough. The 4-man EMP put this in a really tough spot. I mean, Paris is still gonna be able to come and stagger. There's still like the slightest glimmer of hope so long as you have a Tracer on the ball, but down goes the ball. Onigod fighting 4 on point, Sombra coming in from the back. Now Onigod's dead, and whatever glimmer was there, Doa is quickly going away, and it's gone.
Yeah, nice try by Vestola at the end to try to turn it around with a couple of kills with the self-destruct, but just weren't enough members of Paris around to really capitalize on that, and that is Toronto taking a convincing round 1. I'm not going to say it was dominant. Didn't feel one-sided for sure, but it was convincing. We'll give them that.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the EMP had spot. I'd be at bomb a little bit of tempo, but you know, probably could have used it a little bit further back. What I will say, though, is that for all the talk about Aspire, who I do think is an incredible player, I do think Nice really held his own and then some in that last round. I don't think anyone can go there and be like, oh, they would have won harder with Aspire. It's like, it didn't seem to be the case. And here you go. This is the hubris EMP.
I mean, he saw an opportunity to kill Khan, and you'll take those. You know you can guarantee the Zen kill, and so you know you can via that, probably guarantee the team fight win. It was cocky, but it was well-placed cockiness, I would say. And now we get the Pharah battle.
Which Naga doesn't often have to deal with a lot of Paris matches, by the way. Usually has a clear sky as many teams try to ignore the Pharah, but instead, Pharah v Pharah. In this case, both Pharahs going for the ground, ignoring each other. As Onigod finds Lastro pretty early on. Sato, though.
Yeah.
Deals to Onigod, 5-on-5.
Bit of revenge, and the res comes in on Lastro anyway, so Toronto not hurt too badly for that. Naga trying to find a good angle. This window is usually a pretty safe place to harass, but it's not going to stop Toronto from getting the point going early. Onigod, though. Ooh, the Widow swap. 2 quick kills, and now back onto the Tracer. Can they flip it with this, though?
That was stone cold from Onigod, and as a result, I mean, Toronto, they're in a pretty tough spot. Point should be flipping back over the Paris, and the Widow swap was heads up. Sato sends Vistola to the side. I think Paris should be able to stabilize and get some decent progress here.
Yeah, you would think so. Really nice heads-up play by Onigod to get that 2K with the Widow. He knew that he would have those shots free and clear in the air, and he got it. Let's check that out. All right, so Don, you can see only 33% for the Pulse Bomb, and he sees him in the air, so why not make this swap? Wow, this is just incredible. What a great play from Onigod to get that point flipped over to Paris Eternal.
Also just made it look so easy. It's like, swap, bang, bang. I guess it fights ours, but Hisu dropping the EMP. Also getting dropped in turn as he falls to the ground. Still though.
Nano.
Rodrigo taken out immediately.
Nano boost. Oh, didn't get a lot out of that Nano boost, but Toronto nearly flips the point. I don't think they're going to get it done here, though.
No, not quite. Vistola making sure Paris is secure at the point, and a pretty good round for Paris so far. I mean, a lot of momentum from that Widow swap, but hanging in there as Toronto is quickly going to be approaching their final fight if they're not careful.
Yeah, very true. Toronto needs a good barrage here. They need to find a way to get Knights in. Paris knows he should be well aware that the Pharah ultimate is something to be afraid of at this point.
Meanwhile, Toronto just dropping some mines to the point. Sato going, yeah, gotta leave that there. However, the point still in contest. Paris still in control. Nice. Over the other side, drops barrage right to the Diva's back. No Matrix to be found. However, Nice immediately punished in turn. The Stola, by the way, still up.
Yeah, Toronto hasn't gotten a lot of percentage yet. There's a sleep dart onto Sato trying to live. He's pretty tanky. He's going to die. No, it's actually going to be Naga going down via Hisu there. Quick camera swap.
Meanwhile, 94%, 95.
Yep.
Toronto finally gets a flip, but Paris is in a great spot. Now, okay, Paris drops the Nano on the Onigod kind of late into this fight. Yeah, I guess they see an opportunity going in here. It's a little bit weird given that Toronto's fully reestablished on the point, and there really wasn't time pressure on Paris, but now the Nano is faded. Nano, meanwhile, on the other side, onto Nice, looking for the Tracer, rocket after rocket. Ansunjae taken down in the back. Hisu has the EMP, drops it late, but Naga's already taken out 3. The EMP is delayed, Doa, and Paris is just going to rip it right back.
Oh, all right, nice stick by Onigod onto Sato as well. Paris fighting tooth and nail for this point, and they may just tie this game up here. Toronto scrambling to try to get back to the point instead. Onigod harassing as much as he can, and it is enough. Paris ties up Lijiang Tower.
Kind of a strange round to a degree. It felt like after Toronto lost control, they spent a long time looking for a clean engage where just getting into the point as 6 seemingly was a bit of a problem. And a lot of that, of course, just came to the fact that the Paris front line was playing really, really well. Onigod, of course, had the heads-up swap, and overall, a much better neutral presence for Paris on that round relative to the first. But now, we go to Control Center where things get a little bit up close and personal.
Right. Here's that Naga barrage. Oh, the nice sleep dart on Ansunjae there. And, we see Nice coming around the corner and couldn't quite get the rockets in. Good flick by Naga to get the last few, the ultimate, onto the opposing Pharah. And we'll see what these teams can do on security now. Control Center, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit of difference between both teams. One side ran Sombra Tracer as usual, the other side the Creed Torch. So Paris definitely stronger if they're able to get onto the point cleanly. Toronto, meanwhile, looking for decisive engages off the manual hack into Nice poking on the sides. But Toronto get onto a point, it's going to be very, very good for them in the beginning. And right now, they're just walking directly towards it.
Oh. Onigod gets behind the shield the last possible second. He nearly went down there. Gets a kill on the Hisu. Good start for Paris. overall. And I think this is smart by Paris. What you need to see, what you seem to need to do with this team is put Onigod, oh, another kill in the Hastro, put Onigod on playmaking heroes. It is working out well.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Toronto's a team that at times has had very sketchy engagements where, you know, they're not always the most cleanly coordinated team, so you play a composition like this where you really test the Defiant's ability to have a clean engage. I think it really works out in your favor because, you know, to the Eternal, they're the team that, especially after getting first control, it's up to Toronto to make something happen, whereas Paris, they just need to hold their ground.
Yeah. You are correct. They're going to have the amplification matrix soon for Khan. Does get discorded, orbited. All right, nice looking for a pulse bomb here. Has to take out the lamp first, so can't quite get it done quick enough. That's going to delay everything. He's going to throw the pulse bomb out anyway, but no kills out of that one. Toronto's still looking a little bit scattered here, but maybe the kills got by Sato can help flip this.
They got 2. The problem is that Paris is not wounded that much at all. The Torb is still up 2, which is devastating as you get to a lower numbers fight, especially if the turret is still around. And
there's a rally too.
Yeah, they just invest a rally to clean it up a bit and let respawns get back. And as a result, Toronto's stuck looking at 0.
Yeah, it's been interesting. Toronto has had a lot of little things that they haven't been able to quite conquer to make these fights work. The immortality field being the one in that last one, preventing the good pulse bomb coming in from Nice. They're going to try to engage again here. Sato not finding a good place to put the mines down. There's a self-destruct. Is it going to catch anyone? No, it's going to force the Transcendence out of Lasser at least.
Yeah, it was a good self-destruct for that alone. Here comes Naga, dropping the Molten Core from afar. Right as the Transcendence is fading. This is going to give Paris more zone control on the point. And Naga just chasing out the Tracer, finds Nice. One rivet, all taking towards the end. Toronto, they were able to get the flip, but the problem is that Paris is threatening. They can continue to poke and prod and look for a way back on. They don't have to go for a full re-engage here. Michelle going for the Tor. Pistola getting caught, though, definitely slows it down to where maybe they do just wait. But, okay, Sato gets caught. Very much an ebb and flow fight.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Lastro is going to have another Transcendence very soon. He's been building those really quickly, but they're going to need it. Ooh, the wall down for Khan already. Window down, but Nice takes him out anyway. Paris not going to waste any time flipping this back. This is a big concern for Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, even with the early pick, the window gave them enough punching power to make Toronto respect it. Made them go at the point. Pump from Nice to the back. Oh, not enough. Meanwhile, Lastro is going to drop the Transcendence. Deadeye up from Onigod in the back. Waiting, and gets Sato. Big pick from Onigod, still in the fight. Transcendence faded. Moving forward, looking for the D-Mech now is Onigod. Going over to the left, D-Mech is done. Flashbang looking for war, fighting Lastro. It's not necessarily clean, but Paris still pushing Toronto back. As Onigod landing some hits, but not getting the final blows just yet.
Wow, the Immortality Field not enough to really help them come in and get that. Now Toronto turning it around. It's going to be the Dragon Strike from Hisu right through the point. That's going to cleave the way enough for the team to get back onto it and flip it. They've been gaining percent for a little while now. Naga with the ultimate, but not really in a place that's going to force Toronto off the point. 10 HP. He gets the Immortality Field for the moment, but Paris on the back foot in a big way.
At Paris, they're hoping to get the flip there. He came very close. Toronto was able to get back on it. And now you take a look, 91-72. We are heading into the very final fight here. However, ult's pretty good for Eternal here, though. They're going to be able to lead with the window, and Defiant, it's going to be a struggle to hold ground unless Nice gets a huge pulse bomb.
Yeah, definitely counting on him for that. You can see he's hiding upstairs, ready to drop down when they're not expecting. Oh, he knows. Sick. This could be the play that wins the map. Throws it in. Doesn't get anything out of it, but it does do a good amount of damage. Definitely forces the Immortality Field. Khans is out of commission now. So it's cleanup for Toronto if they can just capitalize. So much low health members of Paris, but they can't do
Dragon
it.
Strike Eden! Vistola smothers Hisu on the side. A huge heads-up play by Vistola to keep Paris in it. The Dragon Strike would have been huge, but no. Paris stays in it. Despite the pulse bomb from Nice, getting them also low and the pressure being applied. Paris gets the flip, and now the Defiant in real trouble where they might lose Michelle here. Now they're hoping on a whim and a prayer to get back in, turn this around. Deadeye from Onigod catches Sato, and the tank line Defiant in a rough spot.
Yeah, it's looking pretty bad. They're coming back in with Lastro's Transcendence, but they lose Nice in the process anyway. Onigod just, again, looking for a few more. There's a kill. That should seal the deal. The Soul gets one to Ansun J as well. Oh, Michelle in the air. But a skeet shooting from the McCree there, too. Overtime ticking away, and Paris Eternal on the verge of taking the first map. They do. Lijiang Tower goes to Paris Eternal. A well-played map, ZP, but more than anything, I look at Toronto Defiant, and that team just could not seem to complete a kill to save their lives that map.
Yeah, it got rough towards the end. I think really, though, on round 3, I definitely preferred the Paris comp there. I think the Paris comp was less likely to make errors than the composition Toronto was running, and overall the stability paying off in the end.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. We'll have some time to ruminate as we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will see if Toronto can tie it up. Don't go anywhere. Overwatch League returns right after this.
Time to raise my APM.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by TeamSpeak, the official voice supplier of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League, everybody. Paris Eternal striking first. They win Lijiang Tower. Now Toronto has to make a map choice. They have chosen Volskaya Industries. Spoiler alert. But another spoiler alert. Look at that. Johnny's got to be happy because Aspire is in for Toronto. It's time, ZP.
Well, he might not be super happy because he changed his pred to Paris. So now it's kind of one of those things where he said, you need to play Aspire to win.
That's true.
But now they're following his advice, but now they're increasing the odds that his prediction is wrong. So I feel like Johnny is of two worlds right now, more than anything else.
He's been a bit of a waffler for sure, a flip-flopper as they say. I'll pick waffles over flip-flops, although being in California you end up wearing flip-flops a lot, but eating waffles less, I suppose. But either way, he's got to be half happy, I guess. I don't know. Who knows?
Vindicated.
How the mind
maybe.
of Johnny Reinforced Larson works.
Well, as we look at, we are heading to Toronto's map choice, which is going to be Volskaya Industries, and yeah, I mean, not the greatest start for Toronto. They came out all right on round 1. Things slipped away from them on rounds 2 and 3, and we'll see if they have anything cooked up here on Volskaya, because again, these teams are close enough that I was kidding in the preamble. It's like, hey, it'll be a 3-0 for Paris just to really flip the script, but Doa, it still could be in the cards.
It's certainly possible. I think with the match we saw the other day, we saw that both teams were, I would say, pretty equally capable of winning this series. I think you do still have to give Toronto the slight edge overall, but clearly Paris was nearly up to the task on that day. And after a couple days of practice, they knew that facing Toronto again was a possibility just with the way things could work out. And so they're ready coming into this one for sure. And just to keep people updated too, the winner of this series goes on to play Atlanta Reign later in the day. So it's kind of out of the frying pan into the fire for whoever ends up winning this, because that Atlanta Reign is good. That Atlanta Reign game is going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, it's always one of those things in knockouts, particularly in NA, where it's like, nope, it's not just one knockout match. You have to win the knockout to get to the next knockout if you want to get to the Countdown Cup, where finally you get back into a double elimination bracket. So anytime you're playing in this first set of matches, it's a very tough, long day. But hey, teams have gotten through more often than not.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes in esports, some of these matches do just end up being marathons, right? And to compound that, that Atlanta Reign's watching this match closely, and they're going to have, a little bit of extra info coming to the next one. And, at this point in the season, I don't really know how much there is that teams can hide from each other. Everyone's kind of seen everybody else play a good amount. But, there's the whole thing. Is the team that's coming into the match against Reign coming in fresher, or are they coming in more tired? And that all comes down to the player. I think some players kind of thrive in this kind of situation, and other players would prefer to only play one match a day. So we'll see. Either way, Atlanta Reign's an amazing team right now, so it's going to be tough for either of these squads to beat them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing I'd wonder about Atlanta is like what their starting roster is going to be, because one thing that's it's all out there in the public, and just a matter of wondering like what roster is going to be played is that you think to Atlanta, obviously one of their key players in Pelican recently underwent a medical emergency, and as a result, I don't know if Pelican's actually playing today, and if Pelican can't play, that actually weakens the Reign quite considerably relative to how they've been earlier in the tournament, right? So that's kind of one of those things for the Atlanta Reign where they might not be at 100%.
Yeah. Well, we've got a little bit of time before the players get into the lobby fully, it looks like. So let's hear some comms from a previous series to get more insight into the minds of the pro players of the Overwatch League.
Any comms checkmate this week?
Oh my god.
Cringe stuff.
Good. Yeah,
가자. 메디 주세요.
아 마이크 체크부터요.
네, 알겠습니다.
마이크 체크.
반전남.
아니요, 저 일어서 있는데요.
아 이러면 대회 못합니다.
아이고, 이러면 좀 그렇습니다.
돈 냈어요.
마이키 체크.
마이키 체크. 신우의 목소리 왜 이렇게 커?
전화.
야? 신우의 목소리 왜 이렇게 커? 신우의 목소리 왜 이래 이 사람? 왜 이렇게 키운 거야?
신의 목소리 왜 이래?
Alright, is everyone from us in?
Nope.
No, boys, start joining the lobby. Who are we missing?
Who we missing?
We are missing Fred Wiener.
Get the search team.
Get the dogs, get the K9, let's get the K9s.
You guys unzip or zip down your jersey?
Zip up.
Zip up.
Last year actually zip down. Yeah, I got fat.
On the same page, I have to zip up now.
Excusing me.
Right. What about your six-pack?
Inside.
바로 환승이 해킹 당하면 제가 버릴게.
뭐야 쿠폰기 뭐야?
아 소리?
Okay, so just trust your teammates' calls. Make sure we do everything together. Then I think we're chill.
Also, Hardy and Wolf.
What?
Yeah. That's all.
I didn't hear anything.
Let's go, guys.
That's all you need, bro.
Good round, Peter.
I didn't hear anything, sorry.
I'm gonna say
Mic test.
3, 2, 1 표전
Hi.
on 5 seconds, okay? You guys just say fighting. Okay.
You don't need to 3, 2, 1 then, just say fusion.
네 이때 윈선.
이거 승으로 하는 거야.
Going in. Going in.
씨발 놀래라.
깜짝 놀랐어.
Turb me now. Turb one.
Well, we are back. There's a lot going on in that, so it's hard to break it all down. So let's turn our attention to this series here. Aspire. It seemed like there was a bit of a headset issue. He is wearing it now, at least. So maybe we're getting a little bit closer to getting our map underway. The tech wizards behind the scenes are still looking into that. So while we wait, let's check out some stats for some of the players here in this series. I believe we're going to take a look at Vistola. That's right. And ZP, you may have found your new favorite player for the way you were talking about. You're eating that Dragon Strike.
Oh, Vistola was playing out of his mind, especially in that last round. I mean, you look to Diva players, you go, look, you want to do good damage, you also want to get good peel. Why not all of the above? I mean, the part where he sensed out the Dragon Strike coming in that very well could have won the Defiant the round and just said, nope, I'm going to dive in on that. Eats the Dragon Strike, completely zones out the entire aspect of the fight. Vistola was just over everything in this first map, and a player that has really come into his own as the season has gone deeper. A big reason, I feel like, that Paris has looked as good as they have, especially in the last month.
Yeah, you know, what's been interesting about, especially last year and this year, just with the way things have gone, obviously, the playing scenarios and all that, I think we're in the middle of starting to see a new generation of Overwatch League pros come up. You know, some names that, you know, maybe didn't have the best 2020, the best 2021 are starting to kind of show some signs of life, and I wouldn't be surprised if we come out of this, you know, with some new names to get really hyped about, you know, over the next year or two here. And it is about time, right? Usually I feel like in an esport you see like a kind of a generational transition of pro players about every 2 years or so. So if you think of that, we're in the 4th year of the Overwatch League right now. We're kind of about due for there to be a bit of a shift in terms of top players in the league and people coming up, people kind of declining a little bit. So something to kind of keep an eye on, and, you know, maybe we'll see Vistola be one of those names.
Yeah, and also just the counterpoint there, it also makes the few remaining players that have been in from Overwatch League Season 1, many of them with big resumes even before the first season of the Overwatch League, that are still effective, which it's a very low amount. I think it's like under 5 of players that are like in that category and still starters and top level. You know, your Jonax, your Prophets, those are the players you look at and you're like, wow,
EQO,
to stay on top with all the other player changes, it's impressive. But Doa, we don't have to talk about that anymore. We are in to Volskaya. We'll see if this map pick of the Defiance will help them turn the tide.
That's right. It's time to get into our assault map. You know, speaking of players that have been around the Overwatch scene for basically the entirety of its existence, you've got Onigod, right? Who's been a pretty sick damage player since the very beginning. And seeing him make a big difference on Paris Eternal is pretty cool. He goes way back.
Way back. You know, it goes back to, it's like, oh yeah, was that person, you know, in old seasons Apex? Like, it goes far back. Not too many players who talk about that, and you know,
Onigod's one of those players that predates the Overwatch League.
Yeah. Not a gilded path either, where some players like in the Overwatch League at all times. No, Onigod's had to do a lot of grinding, but has found his form with this Paris Eternal team this year, and couldn't be happier for it. But now, Doa, you got the Paris Eternal getting ready to head out on the offense. On the defense, Defiant run with the Tracer Sombra. Aspire is in.
Yeah, that's right. So all eyes on Aspire to see if he can pick things up a little bit for the Toronto Defiant. Not going to rely on Neist right now. Toronto Defiant on the defense, Paris Eternal on the attack here. They're going to go ahead and maybe teleport a few people up to the high ground. No, just swapping that. They just wanted to get Dridro up there just to chase away Michelle with a little bit of help from the Discord orb from Lastro.
Now, the interesting part here is that the Eternal are going to be running a little bit of a slower comp even on the offense, where, their biggest issue here is going to be getting cleanly, where Sato, was trying to go for the pile driver, got a little bit messed up there. Onigod, though, gets caught by Aspire, and now the Defiant. This is where they don't want to let the Eternal set up. If the Eternal can't get set up, the Defiant win, and that's why you're seeing this pressure, and they're just going into it. They know they've already taken down one. The heavy pressure is on the way. They've taken down Naga. I like this approach from the Defiant.
Yeah, there's a danger when you run the Torbjorn. You do need to kind of have a little bit more of a methodical approach, and if you get stuff like this, it gets tough. Good start to the defense for Toronto Defiant. See how many kills they can pick up on the way out. Chasing down Dridro is Aspire, manages to pick that one up. That's a good start. And on top of that, as Toronto Defiant, you come out of that with 4 ultimates available.
EMP too, in one fight.
Yeah.
That's a quick EMP build.
Yeah. Things like Transcendence, Rally, all in just one fight. It's pretty nice when you get everybody kind of bottled up in that room and you can just spread out all that damage and healing across the whole team at once.
Oh, man. So I was getting ready to do a pile driver and take a chug of the 2L because that was a great engage. Aspire immediately there with the pulse bomb.
The Toronto spawn camping Paris at this point. Sato does get booped off the edge by Dridro, though, so Toronto has to back off a little bit. That's again, you talk about risks. That's a risk you run when you go that far out, too.
And Dridro being able to get the knockoff there means that the Eternal, again, running a composition that wants a little bit of space to set up. Well, they're going to get some of that space here because Defiant, they're not going to be as aggressive with Sato out of the fight. However, Sato's back in, so that period is over.
Yep. Ball is fast. Going to go in, throw down the minefield, kind of bottle them up in there. Lastro diving in with the Transcendence to let his team be more aggressive here. Wow, Sato gets 2 mine kills. That's kind of insane. And Sato rushing back and being the hero here in this fight.
The engages have looked really clean for the Defiant. Something that they fell short a bit on map 1 has been cleaned up pretty tremendously here on map 2. And look, part of it is also the nature of the map. If you're going to run the slower Orisa Tor McCree setup on Volskaya, you have a long way to go to get to a favorable area. And the Defiant, they're just not letting the Eternal take that ground.
Yep. 1 minute, 20 seconds remain for Paris Eternal. They got to get something going here. And, maybe now that they finally have that Torbjorn built up, they can do something with it. They can halt people into the Deadeye from Onigod as well, so they've certainly got some options. Okay, trying to zone a little bit with the Molten Core, pushes them back in the end. Onigod not finding anybody with that Deadeye.
And the Molten Core is also... No, I think they thought Sato was leading a full engage, and Defiant didn't go in there. Bomb taking down all the destructible objects. Bongo, Immortality Field gone, and here comes Aspire. Going to be working in from the outskirts now. Eternal already down 2 key ultimates, and Aspire goes, nope, I don't want to get flashbangs. However, what if I go to the top? What if I wait, dash around? Michelle meanwhile gets donned. No pulse bomb yet to be engaged, and there's the stick from the back.
Oh, got Eden. Vistola.
Yeah, Vistola.
Yep.
Yeah, right on top of it, but still.
I mean, they're not going to win the fight, but, it's another feather in Vistola's cap at least. We were highlighting him before the map, and he's still playing well. That said, you need to play well as a team to win maps in Overwatch. And right now, it doesn't look like Paris may even get a tick here on Volskaya on their attack. Oh, another Vistola stagger. This is really rough to see. 5 seconds left.
Sato nearly just got taken down. Ate a lot of damage while looking for the stagger. But here we go. Back comes in. Aspire gets caught. Aspire continuing to just oppress from the back. And now Khan out of the fight. Eternal, they have to get on to the point. They do get a tick, which could be crucial later on.
It could be, yeah.
Can they make anything happen here? Aspire rotating around. Naga's able to get Lastro. 1 extra pick here for the Eternal. Have the Defiant truly let the Eternal back into this fight? Onigod.
Oh, no.
Decent positioning over the top. One rocket after the other, looking for the Sombra. Dawn out of the fight. The Eternal still threatening here, Doa. Defiant have not wrapped this up yet. Well,
but they stuff off the point. Well, that wraps it up for you. All right. Yeah, but that happened because I felt like Paris Eternal had a real opportunity there. You know, it definitely wasn't clear cut, but they had found a way back into this one, but just could not keep people on the point. And what can you say? Wow.
You know what I realized? I think over the last few matches, I think I've been rendered numb to C9s in that sort of situation where like my reaction was like, yeah, it's not over yet, and now it is. It's like, yeah, they still could have touched and kept it in contest. In fact, I think Eternal had a really good chance of taking that first point, and yeah, doesn't pan out. The only upside here, Doa, for the Eternal, as tortured as that offense was, as good as Defiant was in denying it, it was not a flawless defense. The Eternal still have 63.4%. So there's no draw scenario here. One way or another, one team's walking away with the W.
Yeah, and you know, if you're the defenders, you're okay allowing a little bit of percentage there. Let's watch the end of that map. How exactly did that end up happening? Okay, so Sato boops people off. Vestola, though, just steps off. Oh, he realizes it too late. Couldn't get back in time. Wow. That office chair, you know, just kind of broken in the middle of the point, symbolizes the attack from Paris Eternal just a moment ago.
Yeah.
Mostly
it
there,
was not ideal,
but still not usable.
Also Defiant, I mean, they have a really easy win condition here where, you know, you can run a Sombra comp and just look for one good EMP fight. You should be able to build the EMP by about 2:30 on the clock, and, you know, so long as Defiant's able to do that, you know, take multiple attempts, they should be able to get this unless Paris just has the defense of the gods.
Well, I think they will need the power of the celestial deities themselves to be able to hold on to this one a little bit, because Toronto Defiant, you know, again, as close as these two teams have been playing, you don't need a whole lot if you're Toronto to win this one.
No, not at all. I mean, the number one thing I'm looking at here is just Isu building EMP, which so far hasn't been the quickest EMP build, but again, Toronto does have time. Aspire, meanwhile, going, I wait for EMP. If I could get mechanical pickoff here, pressuring onto the point. Nearly a tick given for free. Don't want that to happen for the Eternal, but Dawn is down. Isu was able to find him. The Defiant applying all sorts of pressure to that point. Two already down, and you don't have to wait for an EMP, Dog, as this one is over.
That is it. Both supports out of the way. The rest of the team falls in short order. And Toronto Defiant, a stellar defense, a dominant defense, and a dominant map to win on Volskaya. It was their map choice, and they made the most of it. They are back in this series as we are tied up 1-1.
Also, it didn't have any impact whatsoever, but that was also a very quick Transcendence build from last row, like scary fast.
He's been doing that. He's been doing that today. I've been keeping an eye on him. He's had some pretty sick rounds on Zenyatta, win or lose, for sure. All right, well, we are tied up. No 3-0s this time, ZP. The prophecy has been fulfilled. We'll see who takes the lead, though, between Paris and Toronto when we come back.
푸시맨 앞에 밀자. 트레서 힐미.
나 쫄다 달리는 거야.
트레서.
나이스. 볼이 벌써 탔습니다.
없어. 나이스.
Too easy. Way too easy.
Welcome back, everybody. Guess what? This season, we want to celebrate you, the best of us, by hearing directly from you on what you love about the Overwatch League. Share your highlights and favorite moments of the season for a chance to win a trip to the 2021 Grand Finals in LA on September 25th. To find out more and enter the I Love Overwatch League contest, visit blizzard.wishpond.com/Grand Finals. It's going to be a good Grand Finals this year, ZP. I'm feeling it. I'm going to make a prediction right now, ZP. I'm feeling it. It's Seoul Dynasty's year. I'm just going to say it.
Here we go again.
Hashtag no bias.
Dynasty's
This is it. Seoul, this is the year. They came so close.
It's Dynasty's year every year until it isn't. That's what I've learned in multiple years of following the Overwatch League.
It's Dynasty's year every year until it is. That's actually how that works. Yeah. Well, let's jump to this match, though. It's a tie game between Paris Eternal and Toronto Defiant as we go towards Blizzard World. That's going to be Paris Eternal's pick. Remember, we are doing it tournament style, so the loser picks the next map. And we'll see if they can take the lead again, because, man, you need to kind of scoop up the team morale and get it back together again after that last map. Volskaya was not pretty for Paris at all.
No, it wasn't. And I think the worst part that'll haunt Paris if they inevitably lose this series, obviously still up in there at 1-1, but should they lose, they'll look back at that Volskaya and just replay it in their heads over and over again, because you look at how that fight was evolving. If Vestola doesn't get off the point, or if another player is able to touch a point, I'm not going to throw it all on Vestola, but if they're able to keep control of that point, that fight was probably going to be won by Paris. They had the momentum going in there. Toronto was struggling, and if they get point A, who knows where it goes. But Doa, it's all set in stone now. That's in the past. It's 1-1, and we'll see what Blizzard World is about to bring.
Yeah, I really have no idea, honestly. With the way this series has been going, who knows? Who knows what is going to happen? Are we going to see a completed map? Are we going to see a C9? Are we going to see a full hold? Anything is possible, ZP. This series is awash in endless timelines.
Yeah, but one thing is certain right now when you look at Toronto is that they have adapted this very aggressive style for defense. You saw it on Volskaya. They're going to try it again here in Blizzard World, where, I think Blizzard World, point A, a little bit better for attackers to set up relative to the previous map. More options, at least, for that. But here we go. Hisu to the back looking for Dawn. Doesn't get the opportunity for the hack. Paris taking a little bit of time on the setup here, but again, it's not as easy to just jump on them decisively the way it was in Volskaya.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, of course, we're running a more aggro comp. Something not anywhere near as slow as the Orisa comp, so...
Now, I would say keys to victory. Yeah, Dawn down early. I was going to say keys to victory for Paris. I wasn't going to say keep Dawn alive, but I'll add that in there. What I was going to say is Onigod needs to make plays. I think whether you like it or not, Onigod's playmaking ability is a huge component of Paris' success this season, and if he's not set up for that and able to execute, they tend to lose maps,
Well, right now for Paris, I'd say get on the same page. They're all split up. They're just getting farmed.
Yeah.
And this is taking place in multiple areas of the point, but the key linking factor is that the Eternal are not ready to engage. The early pick on Dawn put in a rough spot, and okay, Vestola, another eat. The problem is that the Defiant still have overwhelming pressure, so it's not going to amount to too much from the looks of it.
That is the second Pulse Bomb eaten by Vestola in a row for Aspire, so not something he's too thrilled with, but I guess he'll console himself by the fact that his team has been able to hold the point again for the moment. But yeah, it does seem like Vestola's got a good read on Aspire's Pulse Bombs right now. Have to see if he can adapt a little bit to be a bit more tricky.
I mean, what Eternal has to do right now.
Oh, go ahead.
They just need to have a good engage. I mean, the last engage was so split up. Everyone was all over the place, but this time, they punched Aspire. That should be the signal, though, for everyone in the Eternal to get together, just go to point, especially with the hack. Onigod on the assault, looking for Sato. Sato's down. Pulse Bomb good to go. They might not even need it here, but here we go. Onigod, 2 blinks, looking over the top. Is he going to drop the Pulse Bomb? He does. Does it connect? No, not yet, but Paris is on the point.
I like the idea, a little bit of a delay to draw out the defensive matrix before throwing it down, but forget that. It's going to be the EMP from Naga now as Paris tries to clean this up. They did get Hisu. Lastro's Transcendence, though, is keeping Toronto standing for the moment. It may help turn it around as Naga drops as well. Oh, but Dawn comes in with the 2K melee. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, one mighty hamster fist all took. Aspire trying to bring it back from the brink here. And Paris should be putting more pressure at the point. They're now taking the fighting Defiant off of the corner in the minefield. and no one's looking for point presence right now. This is baffling. You have such an advantage. Make Toronto come to you. Don't fight them in the corner of the mines. But they have been able to rotate around, and now getting a little bit more progress and a few picks.
You know, it does again mean a little bit more time comes off, but the thing is, it does allow Toronto to recontest this. Uh-oh. You know, you look at how much is left on that point right now, and that's about what you've taken if you would have stepped on a little bit sooner. It doesn't end up mattering in the end, but a little bit of a scary moment for Paris Eternal. They do have the payload moving now, though, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it was bizarre because you just saw Paris so locked in on finishing off the remnants of Defiant that were protected by a minefield in the back room. Meanwhile, the points all alone going, no one loves me, Doha. And
I mean, this, to be fair, this has been sort of a trend in strategy from teams over the last couple of years now, where you would rather take your entire team and win a fight decisively and give up a little bit of time on a point than split, right? And I think that's usually the right decision. It's just one of these kind of things where the team's half dead on the other side already. Anyway, you know, maybe you could have spared someone to get that going a little bit, but it's a small thing. But these high-level situations, small things can end up being pretty meaningful.
Well, like that, you're missing a Pulse Bomb early in the fight. Yeah, Pulse Bomb isn't necessarily the biggest ultimate, but something that gives you a lot of momentum. Onigod throws that one away. Now they got to look towards Naga in the EMP. Defiant, very spread out right now. So they're doing a good job of keeping the card in contest, not really letting it move, and at the same point, not giving Naga an ideal EMP. That's why Paris is taking such a long time to engage on this fight.
Yeah. That payload, meanwhile, just chilling out. They're going to jump in onto Aspire. They're going to take him out easily. Good start for Paris here on this fight. They've got Toronto all bottled up as well.
Yeah, I mean, the EMP was basically an anti-tracer nuke, and yeah, that's one way to get Aspire out of the fight. They get the hack on the Sato, finish him off, and yeah, it's not the quickest fight, but Paris is starting to just hack away at this Toronto Defiant defense. But okay, Defiant say we still want to play. They drop the Transcendence. They start bringing it back over into the Eternal. Both Transcendences, both teams gone. Aspire back into the fight quickly. It's Tracer. Quick move speed to hop back in. The Pulse Bomb ready to go. And when it's all said and done, Paris has achieved nothing, Doha.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that even if Toronto Defiant haven't been able to get a bunch of kills, they have stopped the payload cold. Aspire, you know, his Pulse Bombs may not have been super effective yet, but he has been building them very quickly, so he has been getting a lot of opportunities with it at least. Sato down.
Sato?
All right, here's a 6v5. Yeah, Sato was getting a little bit overeager there, I think, on the ball.
Time to take another chug, I think. Power back up because that was on. That was an unrelenting feed into the back. However, one feed might deserve another. Dawn running for his life on the other side. EMP, though, built up for Naga. And now this time, will this be the decisive EMP Naga's looking for? EMP is dropped. It's two. Is Lastro going to live? He's still alive? Lastro survives the EMP. Defiant shake it off. Uh-oh.
Whoa, and we got the Zen on the other side down now. Here comes the minefield, but Don gets taken out by the remech from Michelle. And Toronto Defiant still able to defend here. And now just 20 seconds remain for Paris Eternal to try to push this. And that late kill on Naga is going to delay things even more. You know, Paris doesn't really have a lot of tools to make this work, too. They're going to have their support ultimates soon, but they got to go. They got to go fast.
Yeah, also, bear in mind, this is Paris' map pick, and this Point B attack has been tough. They have not been able to really nail down Toronto defense at all. But now we look at Hisu, the EMP good to go, the rally in play. Toronto's fight to lose here with a pretty overwhelming advantage. And well-timed Transcendence by Khan. That's one way they stay in it. However, Onigod gets picked by Michelle. Transcendence not in time to heal him back up. Toronto at the 6-on-4, so well-timed Transcendence or no. This still looking to be Defiant's fight. Pulse Bomb in from Aspire. Aspire into the back. Yeah, I feel bad for Pistola. He eats all these Pulse Bombs. They still lose. They still lose, Noah.
You know, I think with Paris Eternal, we're seeing what we've seen a lot of the entire season, where we're seeing a lot of good individual plays, but we're just not seeing the team come together consistently enough to win some of these maps, right? Or sometimes even finish point B. Like, for instance, great gamer sense from Khan to pop the Transcendence when he knew the EMP was about to hit, right? We've seen a lot of good plays from Onigod earlier in the day. We saw Vestola eat now 3 Pulse Bombs, I believe 3 out of the last 4 Pulse Bombs for Aspire were eaten by Vestola. So we're seeing good plays from Paris Eternal. We're just not seeing good team play, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wonder when I look at this match, is like, did Vistola, wish on a monkey paw earlier in the match going, I want to eat every pulse bomb, and, monkey paw curls, and you eat every pulse bomb, but you lose the map. It's just like, well, that didn't go as planned.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. It's certainly possible. Toronto Defiant in a situation where they've got to take a little bit more than Volskaya, but not much more. Just point A and, maybe about halfway, slightly over halfway through point B, it seems like.
Yeah, it's exceedingly winnable for the Defiant here. And, again, with how coordinated they've been, both on a really good defense that thoroughly confused the Eternal, and their really good defense back of Volskaya that was well coordinated, I mean, I think whenever the Defiant play here, I think it's going to be a good look. Aspire in the lineup seemingly has given them new energy to just engage decisively over and over again.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, Aspire's been playing aggressive. One of the more aggressive traces we've seen in a while. It certainly seems to have thrown Paris off a little bit. It certainly flusters them. He's been able to do it without getting killed off too many times too, which is kind of the flip side of that, right? Oh, that's an early kill on Con. Great pick by Lastro. That's huge. Oh, even more huge, though. Yeah, it's a return for the Paris Eternal.
Well, this has now turned into a bit of a brawl. It's 4-on-4, and this is where Aspire really shines, where anytime you have a great Tracer player and things are a little bit more skirmishy, this is where you can make your mark known. Now, Onigod is up on the other side. Aspire getting a little bit low. Toronto just trying to get leverage on the point where now a really long rotation to the back, and Michelle gets whipped into the brink. Oh, into the water he goes, and as a result, Eternal should be able to get a full reset on the defense here.
Yep. So, that's exactly what Paris needed. They needed a good hold. They got it. Now Toronto with a little bit less time in the time bank. So the pressure starts to mount a little bit.
Lastro nearly got another there. You see his HP evaporate. But now here comes Sato coming to the side. Naga's already down! Won't be any more EMP building for this next fight. Isu, meanwhile, very close to his. Toronto
Sato
on a pivotal 6v5. And yeah, Sato just is like, well, maybe I don't want to die here. Isu looking for the manual hack, doesn't get it. Meanwhile, Onigod pulls on Eden! This time
again.
Michelle, the hungry divas. Michelle going, I can be hungry too.
It's not been a good day for pulse bombs, that's for sure. Sato down, though. It's been a good day for taking out the wrecking ball, apparently. Another ult comes out from Aspire. True enough.
You just pulse bomb the stole in the back. Hisu, though, drops the EMP. Calm down immediately. Toronto investing a lot into this fight. Naga, though, built the EMP of his own. Drops it. Hits Don and Naga. Don goes down. Drops some mines before falling, but...
Oh, the point! The point just got taken! What?
You gotta be kidding me. What?
What is going on this week? It's like we're just deathmatching and everybody forgets there's an objective in Overwatch as well.
Ignore
my mind is blown.
Embrace battle.
I haven't seen so many points snuck or blown or C9 or whatever you want to call it for a long time before this week.
So rejoice in the glory of battle. That's it. Like, ignore, just throw all your objectives away.
I don't know. I don't know, ZP. What can you even say after something like this? It's messy.
I mean,
these are the teams that made the knockout matches, by the way.
Pulse bomb in for Aspire. Paris able to get away from it. Not Eden. Self-destruct in from Vistola. Goes for the remech. Onigod able to find it last row onto the side. This is all taking place in that tiny corridor, and it is a mess. But now the Defiant starting to turn it back around. As the melee breaks down a little bit, Vistola having dodge mines get away potentially, but the Defiant just chasing all down. And they don't have far to go up 2-1 now in this series.
I like that the absolute brawl happened in a place dedicated to strategy, the StarCraft area of the map. It seems ironic, but the payload getting closer and closer to finishing here. Naga with the swap over to the Hangzhou just to try to get some picks. Oh, but this EMP could end the map. EMP comes in, they do get the kill on the con. That's what they needed.
It's a really big one. 2 immediately go down as a result. Transcends onto the point. Defiant right now, they're just playing Minesweeper. Get the remainder of the Paris players off the point. They're about to do it in a moment. It's 2-1 now for the Defiant. Really nice stuff.
Wow. All right. So Paris takes map 1, but maps 2 and 3 have been firmly Toronto Defiant. And so that leads us to a similar situation a bit to what we saw in their match earlier this week, where Toronto looked dominant 2 maps in a row, and then Paris turned it around. They're going to have to do it in not quite the same way, but a kind of a similar way. If they want to win this series, Paris need that big turnaround that they were able to summon the other day. This time they need to complete it. Think they can do it, ZB?
Yeah, also, I think if you're a Paris coach, you just you hop in the comms right now, don't you? Go, remember the point. As artificial and like seemingly reductive as it sounds, please, Paris, I can't take another C9 in this series. I just can't.
ZP's mind fracturing right in front of us. We'll see if he's able to keep it together as we take a little bit of a break. We'll come back in just a moment to see if Toronto can close it out. Don't go anywhere. This is the Overwatch League.
없어. 계속 애쉬. 볼. 포커스 해. 나이스 픽. 트레서.
아 서버 나 떼지 임마. 폴스 있다는 거 없다는 거야. 아 없어. 나 폴스만 보고.
나이스. 에스파이어.
Yeah.
굿잡.
내가 한 7.
We are back here at the Overwatch League. No subs, ZP. No subs at all. Why mess with perfection as we go into our next map, which will be, once again, Paris Eternal's choice. We will see if they can keep this series alive. But I gotta say, you know, I don't know if history is going to repeat itself. Who knows what's going to happen? But the last two maps, Toronto's looked much better.
Well, also Toronto has been the one team that's actually been playing the game mode, whereas Paris at times they've got confused. They've thought it's team deathmatch Doha. They've ignored the point. I mean, this is where I kind of want to message Hex for the next Watch Point segment and go, can you put Johnny in a professor outfit and just teach base Overwatch concepts? Like, this is a point. You touch the point to win or lose the game because something has been lacking right now, the way Paris have been playing, where they've gotten so sucked up into some of these fights that they've lost sight of the objective, and it has cost them more severely than I think I can remember in recent memory for most teams.
I'm shocked. Like I said before, I think across the league this week we've been seeing a lot of points given up when there probably should have been somebody standing on that. So it's just I don't know. It's just something that's plagued the league for the last few days now, and we're going to Rialto, so another opportunity to prove that you can hold a point. Some mobile points, payload, but you need to stay on it.
Yeah, I thought you were going to go the negative approach. It's like another opportunity to not get on the point. I was like, wow, I thought I was being...
I'm a positive person
brutal.
Most of the time, ZP. pretty positive guy.
As am I, but this match is starting to flip the switch, though. It's starting to flip me into angry ZP mode, where it's like, please, just stay on the point.
What is ZP like when he goes Incredible Hulk? We might find out.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're thousands of miles away from me now. I've never appreciated remote casting more.
It's true. Yeah. You see a cornfield or two get destroyed in Minnesota in the next hour or so. You know what? You'll know why, Doa. You'll know why.
So your answer for hulking out is to just go destroy a cornfield? It's like goes like a giant green ZP just rolling around in someone's crops.
Well, I wouldn't want to do anything other than that. I mean, yeah. Well, there's federal insurance for that. You know, I'm not really causing that much pain. All in all.
That's true. You're basically taking the role of one of the many tornadoes that southern Minnesota has every year.
Exactly. But let's throw that to the side. We're getting into it. Paris Eternal looking to stay alive in the series here on the attack. Do you wonder if it is actually going to be a May tour? I guess we'll see when the gates open. But the Defiant going to decide to play something that we haven't seen too often, but does come up here and there. The Defensive Widow. Can Hisu make it work?
You've got some good sight lines off to the side here. Wouldn't be surprised. Hisu sets up in front, actually. One big shot to start things off. You need a little bit more than that, though.
Yeah,
I like that torp turret.
You had to do a slow walk to the health pack after missing headshot there, but now Paris Eternal running something very, very stable here now.
Yeah.
Looking for the ball. Sato going, well, please don't freeze me. As Hisu right now looking for a shot where it's Widow, it's feast or famine.
Yeah, it sure is, and I think with the shields and things like that, with the walls, it's a little bit tough for Hisu to find those shots that he was kind of hoping he would be able to come across. So this Widow obviously not being that effective yet.
He has a chance. He has a shot.
Yeah, here's where you could find some. Through some of the windows here. Toronto Defiant hiding out. They want Paris to come to them right now. Nobody on the payload right now, so Paris is trying to win this fight decisively and then jump back to push the payload a little bit more. Oh, I like this delay by Aspire. Just be a little bit annoying when Vistol is hanging out on the payload.
Well, here's the question. Does Aspire have the courage to go for a good pulse bomb, or will he throw it to Vistola's back again? What we saw at the end of last match. Will he challenge the king of eating? Well, Sato about to go down. Dawn out of it. Both teams down to main tank. Aspire. Pulse bomb good to go. Under pressure. Looking for the opportunity. Giving Vistola a wide berth right now. Just laying in.
Oh, Blizzard.
Pulse clips, and that time it hits. No eat this time as Defiant look to derail this attack.
Yeah, Aspire went into the Blizzard to deliver that one. I think that was a pretty heads-up play there, too, just to kind of deny the effects of the May ult, too, just by not allowing the team to capitalize on it damage-wise. Gets out with his life. And Aspire's good at playing the tightrope walking game with the Tracer. Gotta say, it's been impressive.
Yeah, I mean, Aspire definitely adds another layer of pressure that really aids this Toronto Defiant team. Now Onigod, he's good to go. Multi-core ready to go. Spraying it all around. And for now, we'll see how much room this gives the Eternal here. Defiant don't really look too eager to go step in it, but it hasn't given the Eternal a whole lot of space here either. You see the payload, it's moving back.
Yeah, it certainly is. And Hisu has still maintained this Widowmaker and hasn't gotten a lot of big picks, but he certainly put the pressure on. Naga finally tracks him down, though. This is the opportunity I think that Paris has been looking for. Get everybody healed up, move forward, see what you can get done. Oh, but Naga's down.
Yeah, Aspire ready to go in the Pulse Bomb again. Keep an eye where Vastola is as you look to thread in the Pulse Bomb. And for now, gotta go to the side. They have to get to the point sooner rather than later, though. Does Toronto, they lose onto Jay early. Now it's a 5-on-6. Aspire went for the Pulse Bomb. Not eaten, but not effective either. As the Eternal now look to set up, and in theory, this should be a very good setup now for the Eternal. Not a lot they have to worry about, and Widow Sightline's going to be very tough at this particular stage.
Yeah, I think you do exactly what Vassal just did. Throw the self-destruct in there, force Defiant out, see if you can just take the point that way. Michelle down, and here comes another ultimate from Onigod. That's going to be enough to take point A. Yep, so there we go. Just kind of zoning people up with ultimates, not allowing Toronto to get close. And Paris Eternal will keep the payload rolling.
Yeah, kind of a quick second ult built up there by Onigod too, getting decent value off the Torb, and all in all, not the worst attack from the Eternal. Now, the thing that is surprising me is that, okay, I was going to say, why is Hisu still in the Widow, but Hisu is now swapped. I'm no longer surprised. I think this makes a lot more sense as before. Naga, though, stick on the last throw. Woo. Big for the Eternal, keeping up some momentum.
Yeah. Really nice start for Naga to kind of break the hard point before it really even gets started here. You can see Paris Eternal going way ahead of where the payload was just to take that area at the top of the stairs. This is where defenders like to be if they can. Not this time. Oh, nice knockback on that whip shot, too. Yeah, it was close.
he nearly found himself pile driving into the water, which is fatal as it turns out. Hisu, though, down. Onigod planting some long-range rivets. Eternal using the Supercharger on the point to find. This is really tricky to engage into. The Supercharger is so strong. Michelle runs a fall of the whip shot from Dreedro, and Dreedro just gotta move over and go, let's fight, Zen, let's fight. As Onigod steals the kill at the end. Eternal, again, point B, and now the Eternal really getting some nice momentum here, Noah.
Yeah, they really are. They seem really comfortable with this composition. It seems very well practiced. This is the most crisp we've been looking, or they've been looking all series long, I think.
Ooh, Naga got chased out. I was looking at the health bars there. I'm like, it wasn't on screen, but that seems not good for Naga, and Aspire was the reason. Now Aspire working here for the back end, just putting in tank damage. And again, Onigod having fun out there. Another Molten Core, this time into the tiny corridor. Defiant having the move.
Yep.
Now,
oh, didn't get the Diva before he got in. Yeah, that's right. Dreedro gets another one. It's a bit of a brawl again. Naga may be able to swing things in their direction with the Pulse Bomb. We'll see, but they did lose supports, tanks, everything you need to push a payload going down.
Also, though, Onigod's been scary consistent here at the Torb, where the Molten Core forced a huge rotation, got the individual pickoff later on, 50% to another Molten Core. Onigod is actually having a great game on Torb right now. It's a big reason why Eternal's keeping this moving forward.
Yeah. All right, here comes the Dragon Strike. That's going to give Toronto Defiant some room to jump back into the point here. Good minefield as well. I like the placement to kind of prevent Paris from getting in. It's all about eating up as much time bank as you can now.
Well, rally being used by both teams. Window out from the Eternal. The Eternal looking to poke the Defiant down. Sato and Michelle looking very low right now. Meanwhile, the Eternal real healthy. Vastola trying to get back into mech.
Another one.
And again, another Molten Core. Onigod just continuing to let it loose. And the Halt Pulse Bomb from the Eternal. They are keeping on the pressure.
Wow. I mean, this is the best Paris has looked all day. I mean, they won the control map, but this is head and shoulders better team play. The Halt right into the Pulse Bomb from Naga, and that's going to be an easy completion. A minute 35, not bad, left on the clock for Paris Eternal, and they needed that. They needed a momentum-shifting round, and that was it.
Yeah, and again, I think it wasn't in the kill feed a whole lot, but the overwhelming just neutral pressure coming out there, it was Onigod. And it was just evidenced by the fact that everywhere you look, Molten Core is up, and Toronto is running for their lives, looking for anywhere they could stand. So, the Eternal finding some new life here on Escort.
I think that was one of the better Torbjorn rounds I've seen in the Overwatch League. I feel like I see a lot of teams try it because they conceptually get why it's good, but the person playing it just isn't the greatest Torb player. But that was an example of exactly why a lot of people are looking at Torbjorn on a lot of these points, because you can just control so much space with the ultimate. If you're good at hitting those shots with a rivet gun, you can build the ultimate very quickly, have it for a lot of fights. And it takes practice with the Torbjorn. The projectile travels at a bit of an awkward speed. It's got a bit of a downward arc to it, so it's not like you can just pick it up and immediately hit things with it. You need to practice on the Torbjorn, and Onigod looks like he certainly put in the work.
Yeah, I mean, he went from probably ranked game Plague to ranked game Boon, I suppose. Like, I just wonder how many times, like, oh man, it's this guy on our team where it's probably not a Smurf or something. It's like, who's this Torb one trick? But you put in the hours and eventually you get a good result, as it turns out. Just keep an eye on my games. That's all I have to say. But here we go, Aspire. Oh, he's looking for the narrow shot from yesterday. Oh, had an opportunity, but not quite as juicy as narrow, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty close. Looks like they're going to try to use Symmetra to push the team a little bit farther ahead.
What?
There we go. And wow, whoa, Michelle just gets booped off the edge. Didn't have the charge to get back on. And all right, well, that's going to make the Toronto Defiant reset completely.
Yeah, also to that, I'm not even sure it was a boop. I think he just got headshot by the Widow and bursted down and then jumped off for the quicker reset there. That was
Could
like,
be. I assume maybe there was like a bump by the Farah or something like that, because we didn't see it.
I think that was just a fast burn, where that can happen sometimes. Onigod already at 50%.
Sato
now
very low. Yeah,
Ooh.
Naga capitalizes.
I like this for the Eternal. This is Naga on the Farah in this spot is so good. Rocket after rocket, Doa. And this is what the Defiant are running. The Sombra Tracer has not always done well against Farah in these situations. Now, I will say the Defiant's doing a good job of winning the ground game here. And Naga doesn't have as much support as he normally have, given Onigod's in the Widow. And oh, that was a risk. And it does not pay off. Naga goes down on the ground. And Aspire ready to go, just rolling around to the ground. Pulse Bomb good to go.
He doesn't need it. Nice remet kill by Michelle there onto Vistola. Diva v Diva. You could tell that Aspire, yeah, he wanted to build up that Pulse Bomb and throw it in, hit both tanks, but ended up working out all the better. He didn't need it. You can save it for the next fight, as Paris Eternal has one more chance to contest this here on A.
Naga's a barrage, and we'll see just how well it gets supported. Meanwhile, Defiant should be where it's coming. Aspire, meanwhile, looking at his nemesis, Vistola goes, what if I go the other way for this? Meanwhile, Naga, not good. Not a good barrage, as it turns out. Actually, still gets Michelle somehow, so better than expected. No, Res is in their face. Naga comes back up. How do you let that Res happen? How do you let him hit 3 rockets right after? Oh, man, Zombie Naga is best Naga, as it turns out.
Nobody expects the melee Farah. Naga comes in and puts rockets right in the faces of the Toronto Defiant, sends them, for the most part, back to spawn. They've still got a few people there, and that's a good EMP. Naga down now.
Yeah, Vistola out of the mech. Toronto right back into pressuring the points. Resurrection gonna come back in the Naga. Naga simply cannot die because he continues to get res. However, the rest of his team, very killable, as it turns out. Lastro probably wants to, nope, he's gonna use it. Doesn't want to mess around. I was gonna say, probably gonna save the Transcendence, but they don't want to play games with the Diva. You pop the Transcendence and just mug her in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto Defiant needs to get going. I mean, there's still, a minute 35 is a pretty decent time for finishing Rialto, and honestly, this is a map that a lot of teams just don't finish. So I think if you're Toronto Defiant, you're like, all right, well, we can build the Transcendence back pretty quickly. Lastro's been doing a really good job of doing that all day, and we're probably going to have it again soon. Just need to get the payload going.
Yeah, I think overall the Eternal did a decent job of buying time here thus far. The Defiant, though, Onigod gets onto Jay out of the fight. A really nice engage from the Eternal. Onigod getting back online on the Tracer, and even before Naga really gets to do much on the Farah, the fight essentially over.
Yeah. Paris Eternal, of course, playing best when Onigod gets to excel, and right now both DPS players of Paris Eternal excelling on this map.
Yeah. I mean, Naga, as far as really been his signature hero over the last month or two in particular. It's something that has made teams look foolish. It's made teams look bad. And so far, the Defiant have not done the absolute best job of dealing with this. I mean, they've had a few win the ground war moments, but other than that, you give Naga room to hurt you, and he probably will. That's how he goes back over, holding on to the barrage.
I was going to say, speaking of Naga hurting people, he's right on the verge of finding a barrage. He's going to find one. Oh, this looks like an okay place, a barrage. Yeah. No, maybe not. Maybe not now that you're hacked.
No.
Never mind.
It was a trap, Doa. It was an absolute trap where he went in, lost his jets, lost the ability to barrage, and oh man. The Eternal also didn't need to engage that deep in there. That was...
I mean, that's
ambitious.
how a trap is supposed to work, though, ZP, where you think it's a good place to be, and then no. Then the trap is sprung.
Yeah. Not ideal to bring the Flying Hero into the ground floor abode, but Naga gets Hisu. And off the comp swap here. Still an opportunity. Transcendence forced out real early by Lastro. As the Defiant now. Wrap around.
I'm a little bit surprised about that one. You know, either they... All right, Naga down, so they are getting a few kills off of this. They lose Lastro, though.
Bomb?
Pulse bomb? Oh, that was a good one from Aspire. They backed right into it. That's going to be point B for Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, every time Aspire goes for the bomb, I just hold my breath going, is it going to get eaten? And that time, well, it ate 2 supports instead. The better type of eat for Toronto.
Yeah. It's one of those beautiful moments when the team's a little bit flustered and you see them back right onto the Pulse Bomb. Check out Hisu's EMP here. Nice hack onto the Orisa to start things off, and then, just nowhere to go for Naga's Pharah.
Yeah, I also just look at that and wonder, Eternal, they're having such a hard time dealing with the Pharah already. Why are you fighting them there? But, water under the bridge. Sato rolling around, drop the minefield. Hisu finds Dawn. They're fine. Keeping momentum going forward. Self-destruct in from Pistola now to the backside. No, doesn't connect. Remech though, gonna be successful. Defiant chasing it down. Aspire, 45% to the Pulse Bomb. Pressure still coming in, and Onigod gets caught in the corner. And look at the Defiant though, they're not giving the Eternal any time the rest. The wall builds a little bit of space, but Sato gets caught, and perhaps if they dove too deep, now Defiant might want to back out a little bit.
I mean, they've just kept the Paris Eternal from off of the payload for so long. Like, look at how far they pushed it. It's nearly at the end now. And Toronto Defiant, no. Like, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to finish with as much time as Paris has, but you still got to finish if you want to keep the map going. It's a good start,
looking back at that again, that was actually a danger of another C9. Taking a look at how close that got.
A little bit,
And it would have been another classic with a huge fight in a room while someone just goes to point.
Yeah, I think Toronto does know that they seem to be able to distract Paris a little bit today. Get them to take some of these fights off to the side. All right, Hisu. This could be the EMP that wins him the round. He's going for it. Hits 3. Is it going to be enough to win the team fight? I don't know.
Didn't hit the BAP, though. BAP was able to immediately drop the Immortality field. Paris back up to full HP. Lastro going for the Transcendence, but guess what? Transcendence versus Multicore. Multicore is going to be lasting a little bit longer. Bomb from the shell to the back! Gets 2, but the Blizzard. Blizzard still shutting it down. It's ice and fire enveloping the point, but Lastro doesn't care. He's immune to the elements, takes down another 2. The problem is, are the respawns going to be there for the Defiant? It has been a bloody fight, Doa, and now it's down to the last few remaining.
I mean, it's a song of ice and fire, and true to form, everybody's dying here. It's a brawl at the end, but I don't know if Toronto has enough to push through to finish this. They need to go fast. Again, just about 25 seconds as the reset comes in, and if you can't finish off that last push, it's going to be tough, because now Paris has the ultimates available. Now they've got the tools to hold this.
Aspire, Pulse Bomb, good to go. Is he going to threaten it without Pistola one more time? Michelle demeched. This is where Aspire must come in big. Rewind already used. What's it going to be? Rotating around. Lastro gets Naga. There's a chance. Defiant still looking for that big moment to move on in. The shell dead. Aspire waiting. Looking around. Sato's out of the fight. Is there going to be a hero play? Onigod shutting it down. The bomb gets 1, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Paris looking more dominant on the point. Overtime ticking down. And it goes away.
That is it. Wow, Paris Eternal wins the map. We are going once again to map 5 between these two teams. Not in quite the same form as we saw before, but just as close. These two teams definitely seem to be pretty evenly matched here.
Though I got bad news. Corporate wants to talk. This is supposed to be a 3-0. They put us on this game for a reason, and we failed.
Hey, I can only do so much, right? I can only do so much. I did everything I could. You know, and the thing is that the end of that map was really Aspire's time to shine. He had the Pulse Bomb ready to go. Like, that was a winnable scenario. Hero Play could have done it. They couldn't quite make it happen, and so that means as we go to break, we have a 5th map to look forward to, and another close series between these teams. Don't go anywhere. The series concludes when we return here on the Overwatch League.
Get burst down.
Back on point.
I'm going back.
Shoot one. This one.
You can.
Top us,
My bash.
Where's him?
10, left side.
Main. Take main.
Okay, here we go again. Like that. Okay, what's the last map? Oh, the pick, right?
We are back here at the Overwatch League, all tied up 2-2. The Paris Eternal versus the Toronto Defiant, and we go to another control map. ZP Paris was able to win. The first control map of the day was Lijiang Tower, but this time it's a control map of Toronto's choosing. So I don't know. This is anyone's game, ZP. I think this was one of the hardest to predict maps that we've had in a long time.
It really has been. It has been up and down. And I think right now, this is kind of something where I think you almost give the edge for Paris as we head into the final map. Not only, of course, do they have the good vibes of winning the last map that we just saw, but you also think about heading into it. A lot of Paris' damage this series has been self-inflicted, where I think it's less likely that they'll have those sorts of just awful, not on the point moments as we head to a control map where it's a little bit more front and center. Not impossible, but you know, if you don't have that self-inflicted pain on Paris, I think there's a good chance that they have finished off the series back, a map or two ago.
Yeah, I think you could definitely make that argument. But then at the end of the day, that stuff did happen. And the threat of that kind of thing happening again is apparently pretty real. So I think both these teams just need to be on top of their game. And whoever is the most on top of their game in the most simple way is going to be favored, right? Now, Toronto was able to kind of dig deep and work through the pressure to win their series earlier in the week. We'll see if they can do it again. They seem to handle that pressure just fine. But it remains to be seen. Now, I believe, if I remember right, I could be wrong. I think Oasis was the first map they played in their last series, and I could be wrong, so I hesitate bringing that one up. That was, of course, a Toronto win.
Honestly, that series was a blur, and it was very sloppy Overwatch, so I think my mind glosses over some of the details. But, you know, I mean, there has been sloppiness in terms of the point today, but also there's been elements where both teams have been very mechanically on point. It's been, I'd say it's been a sloppy series in other ways, but a much more watchable way, as long as you don't get too frustrated at some of the objective control we've seen from Paris.
Well, I went back and checked real quick. For the first time in my casting career, I have remembered something correctly. And it was a Toronto win on Oasis in the first map of their last series. It was a 2-1 victory, though, so it was close.
Well, both teams getting ready to head out, and what will be the final map of the series? And already going to be a little bit of a difference between both teams. Toronto, again, going with the Sombra Tracer. Eternal, meanwhile, going, we don't need a Sombra. We're going to go for the 76, which does give you a little bit more power in the neutral game early on, but you do lose out on ult economy if Hisu gets going. Hisu right now, hangs to the back, looking for the manual. Sato already in. But Sato not under too much pressure here just yet as Defiant look for a way in, and Dreedro gets caught. Sato's able to roll over, finds him, and the Defiant get a very good early engage.
Yeah, Don does get 2 kills, so maybe Paris isn't quite ready to give up yet, but okay, now you're going to be, Time to step into traffic. Oh.
Sometimes you just accept what's coming and go, I need to get my mech back anyways. So.
Pretty much, yep. Toronto Defiant takes the point, gets the percentage going early. I like the setup for that fight a lot. You saw Hisu trying to go for the hack on the Brigitte specifically to prevent her from shield bashing Sato when he came in. I think that's a real key component to some of these engages. Need to see.
Oh my god. Hold on here. 83% to bomb. Spire 80% on the other side. Tracers. Gonna be pretty pivotal into the next fight. Onigod though, backing out for now. Aspire meanwhile. Starting around. And the trouble for Paris here though is just gonna be getting the recontest on the city center. It's so difficult to get a full clear out. Hisu gets Naga. That makes it even more difficult. Aspire. Pulse bomb good to go. Doesn't decide to let it fly just yet.
Yeah. Hisu's been a real thorn in the side of Toronto Defiant on this map early. Able to flank and get a lot done. And Toronto Defiant, you know, has all the advantages in the world right now as we see Onigod drop. Like Toronto Defiant, they have the ultimates. They can just sit on point and wait for Paris to come to them. Sato does get taken out though, finally.
The problem that the Eternal's running into, though, is that the Defiant already ran a composition that was supposed to be a little bit weaker in the beginning. They won the first fight anyways, and now they have to deal with the pure ult economy power of EMP. So Eternal really has to thread the needle to make anything happen here on this first round, and quite frankly, they're running out of time. Already 70% for the Defiant.
Yeah, we like to talk about one-fight territory a lot, and it looks like Toronto's approaching that very rapidly here. Hisu, the EMP doesn't get the kill though on Khan. Always hurts when you're the Sombra. That doesn't happen.
Eternal just got a gift. That is what that was. That was a very poor EMP. But eats another pulse bomb. He's back. Aspire decides to challenge him, and it doesn't work out. The Eternal now in a good spot to retake. Take down Aspire and Michelle. They just need a little bit more. Meanwhile, Defiant trying to bring it to 99%. They get close at 96.
I mean, that was pretty impressive, actually, for Toronto to hold on to that point just to get that last couple percentages. And now they're absolutely in a situation where they win one fight against Paris and they take this map. Or not the map, they take the round at least. Oh my god.
What? Bomb?
What? That was nutty, just a turnaround stick onto Ansu J.
It was a good fade away. And now Eternal, they're going to need more of that if they want to hang on. No, Onigod just gets run over. A runaway Sato near the freeway. Transcendence invested by Lastro. Hisu getting real close to another EMP. And look at the pressure Toronto's putting on point right now. Not necessarily going to take it yet, but Eternal has to walk very, very carefully here At this point, hoping for Naga to build up the attack visor in just a second. Minefield going to be dropped. A little bit more delay, and Hisu nearly gets taken down while trying to build.
Here's the rally. Toronto Defiant have an opportunity to walk in here with their own minefield, it looks like. Gonna camp out by that on the stairs. The EMP does get used by Toronto as well. 3 people, but not before the rally for Vidro comes out. Naga turns around, has the ultimate himself, gets 1. Only got there to help with the cleanup here.
He's running.
That's right.
Sato again is just turning those corners so incredibly quickly. He's been more assassin than ball at times this round, but now the real problem there is that Defiant blew EMP in the middle of all that. Didn't really get much. Eternal still in control of the fight, so Defiant might not have that round-winning EMP, and now they look more towards the bread and butter. Aspire, Pulse Bomb, if he can get through Vistola.
Yeah. It's going to be a pretty impactful 1v1, or not a 1v1 much anymore, but I'd love to see Onigod and Aspire have an honorable duel on the side of this map. I don't know if we're going to get it. Oh, Onigod! Ansun J taken out by Onigod. Big start for Toronto.
Yeah, I mean, with Paris now, they're very close where they need to be. Aspire, though, takes out Nagi, evens it up, still has a Pulse Bomb, 5-on-5. Khan, though, finds Hisu, denies any extra building. Eternal really want this round. They take down Sato, and the Eternal so close right now. Aspire goes in, drops a Pulse Bomb, does not get anything. Overtime ticking down. And in this City Center, you can keep overtime going for a long while, but a Transcendence is loaded on deck for the Eternal. All 6 members are still up. Blastro drops Transcendence. He's by a little bit more time at point. Now Khan gonna drop the later Transcendence. A bigger advantage to Paris. They get Blastro, and now they've nearly turned this round again.
Khan did such a good job of saving that Transcendence until they absolutely, positively needed it. That's going to secure point A, and that's a great comeback for Paris on this first round. Down 96%, coming back, winning it. And they have taken the early lead in the last map of this series. They can feel it. 1 round away from rectifying, from remedying the situation from earlier in the week on the 12th. Of August. They lost 3-2 in pretty devastating fashion to Toronto. See
well,
if
you know what?
Change their fortunes today.
If they win this one, they win the one that counts. And if you're a Toronto fan looking back at that last round going, what went wrong? That first EMP by Hisu, everything was going so well for the Defiant Doa. Everything in their favor. They have the EMP, they have like 60 to 65%, and then it's just a rough EMP that gets nothing done, gets Hisu killed, and it gives the Eternal the opening they need to turn things around.
Yep. So here we are in the second point of Oasis. Hisu does get the hack on the big health pack early. That'll help them control that little part of the map a little bit more. Now putting some pressure on the side. Hack on the Mei would be pretty nice. The Brigitte is a pretty juicy target as well. Either supports, frankly. What's he going to be? Waiting for his team to be in position. Oh, doesn't quite get the hack, I don't think. Ansun J down, though. Khan soon to follow. Picks on both sides. Naga with the headshot on the last row to start things off.
The hack did go on the Khan. Khan could drop immortality as a result. Defiant now working around. Naga, though, he'll find Michelle. Very back and forth. But again, the Eternal, they're running a composition here that they've run a lot throughout the series. One that is a lot more stable once they get set up. It puts a lot more onus on Defiant to have a stronger engage, and as a result, Defiant, they're done with Sombra. Hisu over to the Hangzhou. High risk, high reward.
Naga had that really good Pharah map on Rialto, starting off with a good Mercy map. You're on round 2 of Oasis. Onigod have been making a big difference today.
Persuading
for Toronto.
Now it gets it! Streetro had the fight early. A good start for the Hangzhou here. Defiant already gotten the immortality field out of Khan. Now with the man advantage. Hisu going in. More storm arrows. Aspire finds Naga. Blaster though falls. Blizzard gonna be making a little bit room, and Aspire getting more done into the back. The Toronto Defiant nearly doing enough to flip the point. Multi-core miss by Onigod. A little bit strange here, but I guess they're just trying to buy a little bit of extra time. However, it does not accomplish that goal.
Yeah, I mean, you can just ignore it if you're a Toronto Defiant. You don't even need to worry about the molten core. It's just the point's too small, or too big rather, for that to really zone enough. I'm going to say that Maywall too from Naga ended up kind of helping out Hisu. We got a bird's eye view of the battle that one, and no one was contesting it. There's a Dragon Strike coming through the middle. The Hulk doesn't, yeah, never mind, there's no Hulk. That was a Supercharger actually by Don.
Eternal's a good spot to disengage from the Transcendence. Now they can re-engage with the rally. Window about to be up. Bomb though from Spitfire could ruin that. Takes down Dreedro, shuts down the remainder of the rally. Naga though finds Lastro. Both teams trading out to and fro. Who's going to end up on top? Aspire going back over to the top. Khan dodging it. Oh, not dodging well enough. Gets hit by the bomb. And Michelle lets loose. And the Defiant should be hanging on to control at this point. As Naga too, trying to keep it in contest.
Yep. And his team needs it. Toronto Defiant, the percentage building right now. They need to turn this around. And they've nearly done it. Dreedro, the double whip shots. Not bad. All right, so Paris manages to get it back. A close round, as it often is on this one on Oasis. Only God ready to go with his ultimate, too.
Defiant could be heading into their final attempt to bring this back. Eternal at 70%. Sato, mine's good to go, and Onigod just laying it on thick early with the molten core. A little bit of zoning. I think they thought Sato was about to go in, and the Defiant just spending a little bit of time. I mean, they don't have to go all out yet. It's probably last fight anyways. They wait out the molten core. Now they move on into the fight. Sato at half HP. DMAC comes in early for the Defiant. That's big. And here comes Aspire. He doesn't have to worry about the eat. He's free for the first time ever. The pulse bomb good to go. He's waiting for the immortality field. Is it going to go down? He's waiting. Oh, he's waiting. You can feel the suspense get stalled. Is the pulse bomb never going to come out? The fight might be over by the time it goes out.
I know, that's the thing. He was waiting for like the perfect pulse bomb and everyone kind of split up, so he just didn't use it, but that's okay because the way that Paris separated allowed Defiant to kind of divide and conquer.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, I guess we don't need it after all, but Doa, it all comes down to this one final fight for the round. Could be the last one for the Defiant if they lose.
Yep.
See through the dragon's eyes.
All you need is a good zoning Dragon Strike into a place where Aspire can put that pulse bomb. Let's see, diving into it now, throws it. No kills. Oh, he does get Hisu. Oh, no, he does get Redro, rather. Pulse bombs simultaneously used, but it's good for Toronto.
He gets two. Lastro transcends onto the point. Toronto does not want to go gently into that good night as Lastro finishing off here on the point. Aspire dashing to and fro. Overtime ticking down. And the Toronto Defiant, they're going to force the ultimate round here in Overwatch, Doa. Round 3, map 5.
Oh, here we go again, ZP. Going to the final round of the final map. This happened on Nepal. That was map 5 in their last series. It's happening again today on Oasis. We're going the distance. And whoever wins this has to go on and face Atlanta, so it really does not get any easier for whoever ends up being the victor here. Yeah,
that's the thing, right? It's not like, oh, okay, well, we can rest. No, you get rest for a series, and then you got to go again. So,
yeah, I mean, this should kind of be the warm-up, you'd think, for one of these two teams. It ends up being a really hard-fought, exhausting match. So I think if you're Atlanta Reign watching this right now, you're like, yeah, all right, as many rounds as possible. Let's see if we can tire some people out.
They got just that. It wasn't quite the map 7 banger, but pretty close, as it turns out.
Right. Okay, Aspire on the Symmetra this time around, sticking with it.
Yep. Symmetra can be very good on this point, charged up, laying in all sorts of damage into the front line, looking for Dawn. Naga, meanwhile, returning fire. It is a melee in the room, and the Eternal come out on top. Sato ends up falling. And very quickly, this turns in favor of the team that gets the first pick off. And you see that now. Although, as I say that, the Stolen went a little bit too far. Oh no, the Eternal had such an edge, but they build a quick rally. Both teams build a quick rally. It's been a feast of healing for both Brigidas, but Hisu takes out his counterpart, and the Defiant somehow, someway, turned it around as Orisa just gets roasted and toasted by Aspire. Oh boy.
That was one of the most bizarre early fights I've seen in a map. It was just a firing line in that doorway between these two teams and kind of a healer battle. And in the end, Toronto able to get the percentage going. But that was pretty nuts.
Well, the Defiant come out with the first control. The Eternal are on notice. No more mulligans after this. They open with the window. The window answered with the wall. Multi-core out from Onigod again. Looking to deny space. Defiant, though, answers the multi-core with a rotation and a bomb. Is it going to get anything? It just takes down the turret and the immortality field. Gets rid of the inanimate objects. Aspire, though, finds Naga. No immortality for that. Don, though, firing from the corner. The Eternal still able to take this fight. It's very bloody, Doa, but the Paris Eternal, led by Don, just about ready to retake.
He has 0 HP, so he can't even step on the point, but at least he gets enough done that his team can take it. And that was another very tight fight that the Paris were able to just squeeze a win out of. 44% though, not a bad first hold for Toronto Defiant. But they are definitely a little bit down in the ult category here.
Next fight could be very rough. Supercharger down early from Don. Don trying to get away from the isolation, was looking for the finish, but oh, had to turn his attention to the immortality field. Still, Aspire gets caught. Immortality field down. Don, though, focus fired and out. Defiant a little bit ahead now. Supercharger their own. Ansun J just getting to go wild as Brigida mid-rally. And the Defiant, though, power their way back on in a fight that was seemingly pretty rough ult-wise.
Oh, poor Onigod was just out there in the middle being like, yeah, well, I'm just going to hang out until I get killed here. Why not? 50% for Toronto Defiant and building. It really just has been a grind for both of these teams. Just trying to pour as much damage as they can into their opponents as possible. There's no subtlety here. It is all wrecking ball, it seems like. But I'm not talking about the hero. I'm talking about kind of the philosophy.
Yeah, well, you know what? That velocity's about to get cold, Noah. Ice cold. Blizzards on both ends. And Blizzarded! Michelle leads the Blizzard! Vestola, can you do the same? Hisu takes down Dawn.
I mean, eating that Blizzard was so clutch. That might have been a match-winning defensive matrix from Michelle. Without that, I mean, if that Blizzard had landed, who knows what could have happened? But that's right,
wait.
One fight. Stand between Toronto Defiant and victory here.
Naga's just running for his life. He's down.
Oh, that's tragic.
Eternal on the brink. 95%.
Not like this.
Is there anything that can save the Eternal at this point? The Defiant feeling victory in their grasp. Dawn immediately down. Vestola coming in from the side, but it is not a fair fight. It is a 5-on-1. That's it. The Toronto Defiant move on to face Atlanta later today.
And they do it again. In 5 maps, Toronto Defiant just barely hold on and take down the Paris Eternal. You know, I feel like if there wasn't a rivalry before between these two teams, there certainly is going to be now. But the GGs come out, and that's it. Wow. What a crazy series. I really thought throughout that day that Paris Eternal had a chance to win it. They absolutely did. I think you go back to Michelle in that defensive matrix that eats the Blizzard from Naga in that last, the second to last fight. I think that was match winning right there. I think that was the clutch play of the series.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was going to be a Blizzard v. Blizzard fight, but what if Michelle just decides, nah, I like it a little bit hot. Takes away the Blizzard and takes away the last hope for the Eternal to turn things around. Right. And again, I think you look at the series going to 5, it's something where the Eternal look back and go, when the world happened on, some of those earlier maps are very winnable that we let slip away, and, Toronto capitalized on those mistakes, played very well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, for Toronto, you barely have a chance to catch your breath here. You've got to get ready for the next series coming up a little bit later today. Not the very next series, we still have one more, but I believe it's match 3. That's going to be a Toronto Defiant versus the Atlanta Reign now. Let's check out our player of the match, though, for this series. And it is going to be the one, the only, Lastro. That's right, flex support extraordinaire. Playing a great series on the Zenyatta. Got a good mix of picks, got a good mix of Transcendence exactly when they needed him to. And just a very solid day. Like, in moments where Toronto Defiant had missteps, CP, I feel like Lastro wasn't really a part of those. I feel like he, out of the whole team, played probably the most solid series today.
Lastro was giving the Defiant really solid value at all points, whether it be picking off his counterparts, taking down the Tracer at times where Onigod was in his face. Lastro overperformed what you can reasonably expect to get from a support player. And I mean, it's just something he's done for a very long time now. It's something that I think the very best Overwatch League teams all have in common. You have someone that is just incredibly good at flex support that's able to give you fights that you otherwise shouldn't have gotten. You can rely on Lastro any given map to give you about 2 or 3 fights for free. And it's something he excels at and something he did again here today.
Yeah. you need those sort of stabilizing presences on the team, right? Where it's, even if things are going poorly, you kind of need a situation where at least, your Zenyatta is going to be in the right place, right? Going to be able to swoop in with the Transcendence when he needs it. I mean, that's especially tough in a meta where you see a lot of Sombra, too. Zen, traditionally is a rough matchup into Sombra. So I think we saw great plays, honestly, from both Zens today. But Lastro, yeah, again, just solid. And what more can you ask for when you need those clutch plays to win the series? That's it for our first series of the day. But do not go anywhere. We've got a really fun one coming up. It's going to be the Dallas Fuel taking on the San Francisco Shock. Should be a great 5-map series. We'll be back with that on the Overwatch League right after this.
이거 우리 갈렸다.
Just keep me alive. Just keep me alive.
디바. Nice. Let's fucking go. Easy. 잘했다 형. 나이스.
Welcome to Game Break, everybody. We're joined now by Aspire from Toronto Defiant. Aspire, congratulations on the big win. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great. Feel great after that win. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for joining me for the interview. Before we jump into the questions, I was talking with Aspire, before we went live, and he told me that he actually picked up a lot of Korean words because most of his teammates are Korean. Do you have a couple words that you learned in Korean by being with the Toronto Defiant?
Yeah. So for example, one of the words I picked up just from watching reviews and stuff is like yogi. Yogi just means here.
Yogi.
And
yeah,
I mean, a lot of the other words I can't really say on stream because my teammates are stupid and taught me all the bad ones. So
I'm gonna teach you a new Korean word. If you know yogi, because yogi means here, right? There's also a word that's for there. There is chogi, and yogi.
Thank you.
Another Korean that might be useful for you. All right. With that being said, let's jump right into the question. My first question for you, Aspire, is we've seen Toronto switch between you and Nice in the lineup. What's the subbing strat between the two of you?
Yeah. So in this meta, a lot of it comes down to what the other team is going to play and what specific map you're going up to playing next. And a lot of the time, Nice and I's play time is decided off of just our prediction on what the other team is going to play. For example, if it's Bunker, then Tracer into Torb isn't like the greatest. So they like to sub in Nice to play Genji and stuff like that. So it's just stuff like just simple stuff like that.
So based on what heroes are needed, that's how you guys go about your subbing strat.
Yeah, he's a lot more flexible of a player. So
okay. All right. Following that question, I sort of want to also talk about this match as well. This was very evenly matched. It went all the way to the last round of map 5. What gave you guys the edge over Paris today?
So I definitely think that most of it was even when it came down to like the basic comps that you see everyone running. But for example, on Oasis, the last map, just our ability to adapt and run flexible comps, such as like the Sim Mei comp that we ran to kind of catch them off guard. I feel like that's what really pushed us over the edge to taking out the win.
Was a Sim Mei comp, was that sort of, did you guys improvise? Did you guys come up on the spot thinking that, hey, we should play this on this map? Was that planned or was that not planned at all?
It wasn't really planned that much, at least to my knowledge. They spoke about it in Korean a little, but we kind of just pulled out on the last map, and I think we discussed it like right before the map started, so it was kind of an adaptation thing.
So you guys thought, before going into the map, you guys thought that this could be useful against what Paris was running?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice, okay. And of course, my final question for you, Aspire, is very soon after, you guys got the win right now, and we have another match coming up. But following that match, you guys will be playing against the Atlanta Reign. How can the Toronto Defiant come out on top and punch a ticket to Hawaii?
So, from what I know and what I've seen throughout this tournament so far, Atlanta kind of plays similar comps to what Paris ran today, the bunker style comps, and they sometimes like to play dive and like Koth. So I feel like our strategy going into this Paris match will kind of carry over into the Atlanta match. So I feel like we'll have a pretty good chance of doing the same thing and coming out with the same outcome that we did this game. It's going to be tougher though. I think their players are individually a little bit better, but still.
Yeah, but you guys got the win. I think you guys do have the momentum, so good luck in your match against Atlanta Reign. With that being said, I'm going to end the interview, and again, big congratulations on the win again of Spire.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, thank you so much. Let's head back to the desk.
Cheers, Aspire! Congratulations to the Toronto Defiant, and thank you so much, Danny, for the improvised Korean lessons. Why has that not been a thing, by the way, all season long? I feel like there was like a lack of opportunity, like there was a missed opportunity for us to just have like a 20-second Korean lesson segment with you, Danny.
We should.
Like
we could do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
All right. Starting now.
Can we start now? What was the word or something?
It's joggy. So yogi means here. Yogi. And then over there, like there is joggy. Joggy. Yogi? Choggy.
That's here, there.
Yogi?
How do you say everywhere?
Choggy.
How do you say everywhere? Just to
Everywhere?
like, full circle. Yeah, everywhere.
How do you say everywhere?
Oh, we're throwing in a curveball too early, so this is why it's never gonna work.
Sorry. Anyway, moving on. You can think about that.
I'll come back to, yeah, let me come back to that. Let me go.
Yeah, you could just circle back rather. We're gonna talk about the match which just transpired. It was not a clean series by any stretch, but it was the Toronto Defiant taking it in the very end. So Reinforce, you did flip-flop last second with that Paris pick. Of course, you must be devastated, and I'm very empathetic about this. That's why I'm tossing you the ball on this one. Michelle came out as the hero of the people, or at least of 3 people here on this map at the very end. Why do you think it actually ended up going in Toronto's favor, though? Because as they already said in the interview, it wasn't evenly matched.
I mean, this helped. This right here helped.
Oh, phew. I thought we never want to look at that again. Wasn't that what you said?
Oh,
you literally...
That's the worst one of the season, I think. I think it's the worst one of the season. I mean, obviously, I had my prediction on the line, but I don't know about what you guys think. That was really bad. Talking about the match itself, though, I mean, part of the reason I did flip-flop was actually because I thought that this series would be this close. I did think it was going to go down to the wire, so I didn't feel good we all predicted Toronto Defiant. Toronto Defiant, though, one of the big reasons I guess you guys predicted Toronto Defiant as well is because there's Sombra Tracer composition, when Aspire is in the lineup, when Michelle doesn't throw Graviton Surges into the roof. It's genuinely good, like they genuinely play this composition really well. And it is what works for them on Volskaya Industries and here on Blizzard World, okay? This was a bit of a C9, but Bastola was like 1 HP. His team is shootout out. Okay, I'm coping, let me cope. But Paris Eternal, when they play these Orisa compositions as well, Only God was on the Torbjorn, Naga was on the Torbjorn for a little bit, and this is when Paris Eternal, they found some momentum in the series. Naga was able to find a couple of pulse bombs as well, and this is where Paris Eternal really makes this series competitive, being able to play so many different kinds of compositions, find answers to what the Toronto Defiant are doing, keeping Toronto Defiant on their toes, always have to adapt to what the Eternal are playing, but ultimately Toronto Defiant, they come out ahead on this Oasis map, which genuinely could have gone Paris Eternal's way, but you have to give credit for Toronto Defiant. They picked this Maze Symmetra composition in the end, they adapted to what the Paris Eternal were playing, and they outperformed the Paris Eternal on their own Orisa composition, so to speak. So impressed with the Toronto Defiant. I like their Sombra Tracer composition. I like when Aspire's in the lineup. That's why I predicted them to begin with before I flopped. So I think this is generally a really good team, and congratulations for winning this match.
Absolutely. Carry here, a throw there. It was an emotional roller coaster for all of us, and I feel like we're in for more of that. But first, let's take a look at the updated bracket with that victory, just to visualize it once again and